So this is a continuation of my Toy Town video of how a Stargate may be made, or my idea, which is unproven, but it's just something I'm discussing. So if we go back to having a positive ring entrapping a electromagnetic wave, so you have a light wave which is rotating, always putting a force vector in a certain direction. Well, essentially what would happen is these gates would link up in one of two ways. The first way is the rotating light wave would produce a form of flux-like fountain, which, because it's rotating, would move faster, I believe, than the speed of light as we know it, because we would be accessing a higher dimension, possibly. And that's essentially what a higher dimension is, just working with something at a higher frequency, but also just doing this rotation here actually also can represent, a faster alternating wave. So it's a way of working with the particle which happens before the electric field, known as fluxed by many. But this is what I think would happen. So you'd have one gate which could link up to another. Now the second way that this would happen, oh crap, is, so we have a gate, it's producing an electromagnetic wave. So on waveform plane 1, we have this electromagnetic wave happening and producing data. That data may only move a short distance, so let's say it moves a foot. But the next propagation of this wave, original one, is roughly a foot away, which copies that data. The next propagation is another foot away and another foot away. So what happens is the data is going in here, either dismantled or just producing data of what was going in. So something goes in and is destroyed, and essentially is copied through all these other waveform planes. Now, considering that, we could actually have what is represented by UDP. So we open up one gate, we open up another, they self-propagate through space-time. One of them will self-propagate using the previous slide, so it might have versions of itself here and here and here, and eventually the copies being produced per waveform plane would reach the gate. However, the second version is essentially like what I previously described, and what I'm describing here. So this is the second version in a better graphical idea. So we have the waveform plane and we have the rotating light wave which is entrapped. But that rotating alternating light wave will self-propagate, but it will self-propagate at a faster speed than the original light wave, I hypothesize. So then you have these positive and negative propagations of data, but this isn't going to send a copy, this is going to link to the original gate. So it's going to link from the original gate to the end gate using flux, which is going to be moving in the same way lightning does. So in the same way lightning goes to Earth, it finds a course to the actual end gate, and the end gate will be making a propagation itself. So the rotation and frequency of gate 1 and gate 2 would match, and that would produce almost like a path through space-time to one another. So if you imagine this here being represented by this here, well, this movement here is going to represent a fountain-like flux movement, which will also become the electric field. And this will carry on with its propagation all the way until the end gate, is what I hypothesize. Nothing I'm saying here is proven, but this is my idea of how to make a very simple Toy Town Stargate for not sending a copy, but for sending an original item through it that will pass through space-time at incredibly vast speeds, which I think would be faster than, the speed of light. Now, this essentially also, this, electric field, this rotation, this is also a gravitational field, or what I consider to be a gravitational field in many of my other videos which I've spoken about. So you can see that gravity is being produced all the way through these gates, all the way through these waveform planes to the final gate. And this is a method not for sending a copy, but for sending an original through. And even if there isn't another gate, let's say there's some kind of signal or marker. So let's say we have a gate here anywhere in space. So we have a gate here symboled by red. Anywhere in space, you've got a huge object blocking the second gate. Well, this is going to be moving like lightning, and it's going to link up to either another gate or something that is like a marker producing a similar or very, very similar correlating signal or waveform. So imagine if a planet was producing signal 10 and this is producing signal 10. Well, we wouldn't even need to know where the planet is. This would just go through making its propagation, and this propagation, like a fountain, would be moving through space-time in the same way lightning does. And then once it links up, that path will be solid until that shuts down. So yeah, that's it. So again, you know, it's just my idea of why we're not seeing any aliens, because I don't think they're really there.